All right, no filter MMA family. What's going on? It is your boy BJ, and I am back. And this time I am live. What's going on, guys? How'd you guys enjoy UFC? Uh oh. How'd you guys enjoy UFC 231? UFC 231 to me, I mean, my opinion on 231 is 231 delivered. Like, I mean, 231 was nothing short of delivering us a pretty good card. It was entertaining from the prelims all the way down, all the way up. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. Um, from the prelims all the way up to the main card, especially the main card, guys. Main card was nice. I really appreciated finally seeing a really good stacked UFC card. Because UFC people, a lot of people say a lot of the casual people out there say the cards have been sucking lately, but that was a card for the casuals, if you ask me. That was a card for the casuals. That was for people who wanted to see good brawls, good people who wanted to see blood. I mean, that was the card. There was a lot of blood from the cowboy fight all the way to the main event. It was a lot of blood, guys. But I was happy. Overall, I was happy with 231. We have a new champion in the flyweight division, Valentina Shevchenko. Very good fight against Joanna. We also have um, Max Holloway retains his belt in a 5 round, a dominant 5 round performance by him. Against Brian Ortega. I mean, you can't give him anything but respect for that fight. But real quick, guys, let's see. There's a couple fights I want to talk about. I want you guys to get in that live chat too. Most definitely jump in the live chat. My phone's ringing off the hook. Jump in the live chat, guys. Ask your questions, whatever. Because I'm gonna be doing some talking. I'm gonna be giving my thoughts and my opinions on a few of these fights that happened. So the first fight I wanted to talk about. Well, actually, before I get into the fights, uh, UFC Milwaukee is going to be a really good card. I'm looking forward to that. I definitely want to do a pre-fight on UFC Milwaukee, Fight Night Milwaukee. That's going to be a good card. Kevin Lee and Iaquinta. So I'm excited. The rematch. But Kevin Lee wants to get that. He wants to get that blood back. Of course he does. Most people who lose want to get that blood back. But two rising lightweights, I want to see where it goes. A lot of people are saying that Kevin Lee could possibly, if they open up the 165-pound division, that's Kevin Lee's division. And boy, that would be exciting if that weight class really opened up instead of it being just speculation. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, guys, this is the first fight that I want. Let me turn my screen on. Hold on, y'all. This is the first fight I want to talk about. I really enjoyed this fight. Let's see. I'll turn the screen share on. Exit. And let's go. So, enjoyed this fight. This was the first fight that I really enjoyed watching. My computer, there we go. Brad Katona. So they really must be canceling out the flyweight division because Brad Katona steps up to bantamweight. First time in the UFC fighting at bantamweight against Matthew Lopez. I really enjoyed that fight. Really enjoyed that fight. I had a feeling Brad Katona would win that fight. Just because Brad Katona is a very dominant fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a dominant fighter, and and he really pushed the pace in this fight. He showed really good stand up in this fight, which I appreciated that. I tend to like the grappling a little bit more, but I like to see a good stand up fight. And Brad Katona really showed his skills on the feet and showed that since this division is moving away, let me go ahead and get my feet wet at 135, which he's got a long way to go to get to where he really wants to be. But I'm excited to see what Katona does in the near future and in that division because, well, you had Dominic Cruz coming back, but Dominic Cruz is apparently out with injury again. with his upcoming matchup. So I don't know what's to deal with him, but you know the 135-pound division definitely needs some new fresh blood. So I'm excited to see what Brad Katona can do in that division. It was good to see him get a win on such a big card too. I was definitely happy to see that. So Brad Katona gets the win against Matthew Lopez. Decision. It is what it is. Most people frown on decisions. I don't frown on decisions. A win is a win to me. A win is a straight up win when you're talking about fighting. So it is what it is. I don't really, whether they win by submission, knockout, TKO, decision, split, unanimous, it don't matter to me. Their win is they won the fight. So, anyways, let's move on. The first fight, now this fight, Elias Theodorou versus Eric Anders. The thing about Elias Theodorou is he is very methodical in what he does. Like he's very, like he executes a really good game plan. His game plan is to be elusive, and I respect that game plan. Like I definitely respect the game plan of, you know, I respect it and I see what he's trying to do. But Elias Theodorou almost got knocked out in that fight. Eric Anders, I mean, guys, let me show. I mean, just the size difference was apparent. It was very apparent when they stepped into the octagon because, I mean, and Elias, he danced around. He didn't really land any power shots. You know, which Elias Theodorou has a long streak of unanimous, of decision wins. Which, like I just said, you know, a win is a win. But you kind of want to see Elias Theodorou throw with some power. You kind of want to see him get a little reckless. You kind of want to see him, you know, hit somebody, which he does. You know what I'm saying? But he's fighting for points. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he does. You know, he's dancing around. And when he actually had to mix it up with Eric Anders, that's when Eric was able to land those power shots. And when he landed those power shots, that was starting to make a difference in this fight. If it had been a 5-round fight, I believe we would have seen Theodorou get knocked out. You know, I really do believe we would have seen Theodorou get knocked out. But it is what it is. He executed his game plan. He stayed elusive. He stayed mobile. You know what I'm saying? And it worked for him. It's been working for him. So, you know, it is what it is with that. But anyways, that was a good fight. I really enjoyed that fight. And I had the feeling Theodorou would come out with the win just because he didn't really put himself in too much danger. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in danger, you know what I'm saying? He got knocked out. You know, so he was definitely in danger, but he kept it together. So good win for Theodorou. I mean, he's building up a little win streak here, which is respectable. So it is what it is. All right. So the next fight up on this card on the prelims was a very important flyweight fight, guys. And I've been talking a lot about the flyweight division because the flyweight division is molding. It's becoming a stout, legit division. It's like 125 is the new 135. So you have two ex-135ers, Chookagian and Jessica Eye, who were obviously fighting out of their weight class at 135. And now they're fighting at the top of the flyweight division. Jessica Eye's been at the top of the bantamweight division. She fought Misha. You know what I'm saying? She fought, you know, some really good, you know, Betch Correia back before Holly knocked Betch out with that head kick. And before... Do y'all remember how Betch was taunting Holly Holm? And Holly Holm knocked out with the head kick. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know why I paused on that, but guys, that was funny. Man. Like, Betch Correia was really like taunting Holly Holm in that fight. She was like, come on. And then Holly just, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Hold on. It's not going to be that big on this Chromebook, guys. But look, check that out. Y'all remember when Holly kicked bitch? Anyway, y'all, let me get back to what I was talking about. Jessica I she's a good fighter. Like, I mean, you can't take anything away from Jessica I. Like, Jessica I says stupid stuff on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she lost some fights at bantamweight, but she was way oversized, which is no excuse when you look at Valentina Shevchenko. But Jessica I is not Valentina Shevchenko. So, you know, now my question is the people who Jessica I lost to, some of the people would um, would Valentina beat? I don't know. Like, would Valentina have beat Misha Tate? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that you just can't. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is there's no excuse for the losing streak that Jessica was on, but she in her corner she was undersized. But anyway, she fought Caitlin Chukagian, which is pretty much like a number one contender fight. Who's going to be next to fight for the title? Whoever wins this fight is next. And there's like I said in the previous video, guys, there was a lot of steam around Caitlin Chukagian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were they had Chukagian in it as the alternate if Joanna didn't make it. They were calling on Chukagian to fight Valentina when Nico pulled out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want Caitlin Chukagian to fight for that belt. You know what I'm saying? She's blonde. She can fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the UFC push, certain fight. Look at Paige Van Zandt, blonde. You know what I'm saying? Had a couple good fights. Look at Ronda Rousey, blonde. You know what I'm saying? She was a good fighter though, but there's a certain look that the UFC goes after, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't know. So that is what it is. But it was a good fight, guys. You know what I'm saying? It stayed on the feet. And I knew that if this fight stayed on the feet, that both of them would be comfortable. But I knew Jessica I would be comfortable because Jessica I likes to box. She had that old school boxing stance with her hands up high. She was ready to block anything that Caitlin Chukagian threw at her. And Caitlin Chukagian threw a lot of good shots at Jessica I, a lot of good kicks. You know what I'm saying? That's what I noticed from Chukagian, her fighting style. There was a lot of kicks, which, Chukagian's a good fighter, but you know what I'm saying, Jessica I, she wants to fight for that belt. Like, Jessica I has probably had one of the most dynamic careers in the UFC. If you look at, one of them, I'm not saying the most dynamic, but she's had a pretty dynamic run in the UFC. She's been up, she's been down. And when she came into the UFC, she was ranked number one flyweight in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a huge thing about Jessica I. People talk trash about her because she went on a losing streak, but at flyweight, Jessica I is damn near perfect at flyweight. So, let's give respect where it's due, guys. She came out with a good win over Caitlin Chukagian. I mean, that was a solid number one contender fight. That fight, she should definitely fight for the title next. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you come out and you dominate the one that they're pushing, you know what I'm saying, the one that they want to be on top, and you come out and you dominate that fight and you win that fight, then that's good. That speaks a lot. So we'll probably end up seeing Jessica I versus Valentina Shevchenko. Now, how that fight's gonna go, I don't know. I mean, I probably see Valentina Shevchenko winning that fight. Jessica I mean, she's going to stand and trade with Valentina. And Jessica I's more fluent on the ground than Joanna. So, if Valentina goes to take Jessica I down, Jessica I is comfortable on the ground. She grappled with Misha Tate. So, Jessica I definitely, and I don't believe that Valentina Shevchenko can out grapple Misha Tate. So, that right there is you know, if they make that fight and that fight gets closer, then I'll do some film study on Jessica Eye and Valentina, because Jessica Eye, like I said, guys, Jessica Eye's grapple with the best. She's not afraid to grapple on the ground, and Jessica Eye is strong. So Valentina's not gonna have, you know, the strength advantage that she obviously had over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You know, she won't have quite that strength advantage over Jessica Eye, and not really quite that size advantage over Jessica Eye. So, you know, like I've been saying, guys, as dominant as Valentina Shevchenko is and will be as a champion, you know, there's still some killers coming after that belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some rising girls in that division who are proving themselves. They're proving themselves. They're in the process of proving themselves to be worthy to step into the cage with somebody like that. And if they do get the opportunity, best believe they'll try their best. I'm not taking up for anybody. I'm not trying to plead anybody's case. I'm just saying, guys, we got some solid fighters coming up in that flyweight division. You know, so let's be on the lookout for that. That division's shaping up pretty good. That division's shaping up pretty good. So now on the next fight, let me show y'all the next fight. So the next fight that I saw that I wanted to mention was Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Mercier, I always mess up his name, versus Gilbert Burns. Man, I felt like Aubin-Mercier was, I felt like he was winning this fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he was winning this fight, and then he started getting desperate with the takedowns. So, you know, I thought he could have won this fight, but you know, but Gilbert Burns, you know, Olivier was too predictable, man. Gilbert Burns caught on to what he was doing. It made him look silly in there, man. Like, made him look silly in there. You know what I'm saying? I thought he kind of got desperate when he felt the hands of Gilbert Burns, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, I definitely seen Gilbert Burns winning that fight. Everybody was calling him Ben Askren Jr. Olivier Aubin-Mercier, they was calling him Ben Askren Jr. I don't really know much about him, so I don't really know if he fights like Ben Askren. You know what I'm saying? This fight stood out to me, so that's why I'm talking about it. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he fights anything like Ben Askren, but it looked like he did with the desperate takedown attempts. Definitely made it look like he was trying to fight like Ben Askren. So I see why they called him Gilbert. They called him Ben Askren Jr. All right, guys. So next up on that fight card, we had the feature prelim, which was Claudia Gadelha versus Nina Ansaroff. Anyway, wait a minute, guys. I see you guys in the comments. I see you guys watching. Hit that like button, guys. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know you're here. Hit the like button. Claudia Gadelha versus Nina Ansaroff. Now, I don't know what the deal with Claudia Gadelha is lately, guys. Claudia Gadelha used to be one of the most dominant strawweights in the UFC, period. I mean, she had 2 wars with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I mean, she fought a war. She just had a war with Claudia Gadelha. I mean, with Carla Esparza. You know what I'm saying? And Carla Esparza, to me, Carla Esparza beat Claudia Gadelha. Like, I mean, and on the feet too. That's what got me. Claudia Gadelha got beat up by Carla Esparza on the feet. I don't care how you twist it. It's like it's not the same Claudia Gadelha that stepped in there with the top level opponents that she fought in that division. I just don't think that. I don't know where Claudia's head's at. I don't know what's going on with Claudia, but it's not the same Claudia, guys. And Nina Ansaroff came in here and pieced up Claudia Gadelha. Like, she pieced up Claudia Gadelha, man. Like, and I knew it's the way Nina Ansaroff looked in her last fight. You know what I'm saying? I said, Nina Ansaroff can come in here and beat Claudia Gadelha. Straight up. Like, she can come in here and get this win over Claudia and Nobody's really, no people aren't going to be surprised. The real hardcore fans are not going to be surprised to see Nina Ansaroff beat Claudia Gadelha. Look at their last two fights. Look at their last fight. Nina Ansaroff was very dominant in her last fight. And Claudia Gadelha had a shaky win over Carla Esparza. I think that was her last fight. That might have been her last. I think that was her last fight. Was Carla Esparza. And she had a shaky win over Carla Esparza. So, when she came, when this fight happened, I was like, a lot of people said it. Coach Shelton Harrison said it. He said, don't be surprised if Nina Ansaroff beats Claudia Gadelha. And I was not surprised to see Nina Ansaroff get her hand raised. I guess when she's not telling the man, when she's not getting, when she's not, writing checks with Amanda Nunes' ass, you know what I'm saying, and getting ready to get Amanda Nunes beat up, when she ain't on social media pretending to be Amanda Nunes, I guess she really is training. Because she looked good in there, y'all. I mean, Nina Ansaroff looked good in there. There's nothing else I can really say about it. So that is what it is. Let's move to the main card, people. Let's see. Let me see here, y'all. Wow. I forgot about this fight. Oh, I forgot about this fight, y'all. Check this out. Yo, Jimmy Manuwa versus Thiago Santos. What a fight. I never check and see, guys, which fights get fight of the night or, you know what I'm saying, like, bonuses. Like, I never check that. I'm too busy to check that. Like, I'm not too busy to check it. I just forget to check it. I really do forget to check it. But Thiago Santos, they go out. All right. I'm thinking, okay, Jimmy Manuwa was gonna look good this time. He's gonna look good this fight. And he did look good this fight. You know what I'm saying? But first round they was feeling each other out, you know what I'm saying? They was exchanging a couple blows and but it was like Thiago Santos just like like when the second round started, he just established his dominance in that second round. And he started pouring it on heavy to Jimmy Manuwa. Jimmy Manuwa was firing back, though. That's the thing. Like, Jimmy Manuwa fired back and stumbled Thiago Santos. Like, he stumbled him. But, man, Thiago was dropping bombs on Jimmy Manuwa, man. He was dropping serious napalm bombs on Jimmy Manuwa. And, man, he got him up against that cage. And I said the fight is over. The fight is over. But Jimmy Manuwa, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are starting to look at him sort of like a gatekeeper. I don't think he's a gatekeeper because even when he's being beat up and he's wobbled and he's at the edge and he's done pretty much, he can still fire off a nasty shot. Because that's exactly what happened in this fight. Thiago Santos was pouring it on heavy on Jimmy Manuwa. Heavy on Jimmy Manuwa. And Jimmy Manuwa swung. He fired one punch, and it stumbled Thiago Santos. Stumbled him. And Jimmy Manuwa was on the verge of being knocked out. On the verge of being knocked out. And he swung, and he stumbled Thiago Santos. That says a lot about his power. He is a light heavyweight. He's a big man, but whew, boy. But Jimmy Manuwa takes another L. He takes yet another L. Thiago Santos picked up a good win over Jimmy Manuwa. Looks good on his resume, and he moves on. He knocked him out. A lot of people have knocked out Jimmy Manuwa, though. All right, so I was a little disappointed in this fight, though. Kyle Bochniak and Hakeem Dawodu, excuse me, I said his name wrong. Y'all, I thought Kyle Bochniak would come out a little more aggressive than what he did. I thought he would come out a little more, not aggressive, a little bit more technical, but he just couldn't overcome the reach advantage that Hakeem Dawodu that he had on him. And Hakeem Dawodu put on a striking clinic against Kyle Bochniak. And I thought, from hey Tisha Miller, hey Tisha, how you doing? Kyle Bochniak was like, he wasn't connecting much. Like I need to pull up the stats from that fight, because the stats from that fight was pretty. It'll tell the story. It'll tell the story. You know what I'm saying? Like Kyle Bochniak just couldn't get anything going, man. On the feet, he was getting beat up. He was getting beat up on the ground. He was getting beat up in the clinch. He got beat up all the way around. Kyle Bochniak got beat up in this fight. So I'm pretty sure his striking coach, you know what I'm saying, is going. He needs to work on his striking a lot. He needs to work on his striking a lot, and especially striking with someone who has a longer reach than him. Maybe he needs to take some lessons from Daniel Cormier, the champ. For real. But how good did Hakeem Dawodu look in that fight? He looked amazing in that fight. So I was happy for him, but it kind of sucked to see Kyle Bochniak get beat up like that, because I like Kyle Bochniak. You know what I'm saying? He was the minus 180 favorite. You know what I'm saying? So they was, seeing this as a win, but it just didn't happen for him. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more out of Bochniak. So here we go. The next one, Gunnar Nelson, legend, versus Cowboy Oliveira, legend. Two legends fighting. Gunnar Nelson was everything but beat in this fight. I'm telling you. Cowboy beat him up. Completely beat him up. But Gunnar Nelson, being the seasoned veteran that he is, found a way to win. That's what Kyle Bochniak did not do in the face of adversity. He let Hakeem Dawodu beat him up. Gunnar Nelson found a way to win that fight. Shout out to Gunnar Nelson, though. Gunnar Nelson was able to overcome the beating that Cowboy Oliveira was putting on him. He was able to overcome it. And was able to get the win, the submission win over Oliveira. But did you guys see from the elbows the cut that he opened up on Cowboy's head? Wow. And the blood, guys, that was a bloody fight. That was probably the most blood I think I ever seen in a UFC fight. Besides, let me see. Wait a minute. Now, guys, I believe that was probably the most blood I think I ever seen. Because it was pouring out. I mean, it was so bad I got queasy watching it. Cowboy Oliveira with the law had the fight all but one. But shout out to Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson stayed patient. He knew the striking wasn't working, so he took it to the ground, and it was great. He did a great job, got the choke, and you can't do nothing but give him praises for that. So shout out to Gunnar Nelson on that. Absolutely. So we move to the co-main event, guys. This is a quick run through. I just want to talk about these fights that stood out to me, guys. Me and the guys will probably end up doing an official post fight. But this was just to get some content out there. Valentina Shevchenko defeats former strawweight champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Unanimous decision. Wow. So we knew how this fight was going to go, but Valentina is very, very, very clever. Valentina, it seemed like Joanna was throwing, when the fight started, it seemed like Joanna was throwing her punches really just to keep the distance, because it wasn't a whole lot of connection happening from Joanna. There was some connection happening from the kicks of Valentina, but it really wasn't a whole lot of connection happening from Joanna Jędrzejczyk. They were kind of filling each other out. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, and Valentina was pretty clever in this fight. Once Joanna landed I know she landed a front kick to the face. Valentina landed a front kick to the face of Joanna, which was nice, really nice, really nice. Shout out to Valentina for that front kick. But as soon as Joanna was able to land some good shots on Valentina, Valentina was very smart. It's like Valentina's always thinking when she's fighting. Like there's nothing that really catches. There's nothing that Valentina is not prepared for. It seems like, you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know, she really is a well-rounded mixed martial artist. She's a complete fighter, like she always says. Valentina is a complete fighter. So you have to give her credit where it's due. You know what I'm saying? Joanna threw a front kick and popped Valentina in the face with it, and Valentina immediately took Joanna to the ground. Strategically took her to the ground because she knows, yeah, that Joanna has really good takedown defense, but she doesn't really have the ground game. But Joanna is, in Joanna's defense, she is really good at finding a way to get back to her feet. Always, always. Anytime somebody puts Joanna down, she finds a way to get back to her feet, no matter how good they are. And that's exactly what Joanna did. Didn't take much damage on the ground. She got up easily, it looked like it was pretty easy for her to get up. You know what I'm saying? And immediately went back to the striking. Now, second round, I think it may have been second or third round, when Joanna comes out, she was very aggressive, throwing kicks, landing punches, very aggressive. And then Valentina went back to her game plan. You know, Joanna was having a little bit of success on the feet. And, you know, Valentina took her down again easily. And stayed on top for a while and got that top control time, stayed on top, landed some ground and pound, and then Valentina just looked impressive, and there was nothing that Joanna was doing that came to a surprise to Valentina. She was ready for everything. So, you know, once again, like I was saying when I was talking about the Jessica Eye fight, as dominant of a champion as Valentina is and will be, there are some good girls coming up. But these girls are going to have to find a way to catch Valentina. They're going to have to find a way to beat Valentina because the level of competition is very different between Valentina and Joanna's not going to be in this division. I don't think. She likes this division, but I think maybe she'll join the division after she chases that 115 belt one more time. So that's what I believe will happen. Now, like I was saying about the flyweights, guys, there's a difference in the competition level between the contenders and the champion. Usually it's not like that. Pretty much, usually the champion is good, but there's somebody who is just as good as him in that division fighting, chasing the belt, or just as good as him or better. This is not the case in the flyweight division. Now I'm fans of fighters in that division. I have a lot of fighters that I'm a fan of in that flyweight division. Girls who could present problems to Valentina. I don't know if those girls can necessarily beat Valentina, but there's girls who could present threats to Valentina. Like Montana De La Rosa is a really good grappler. Jillian Robinson's a good grappler. Liz Carmouche is coming up. Jessica Eye is coming up. Kaylin Chukagian is coming up. I don't know what Sarah Eubanks is doing. And you have, let's see Paige Van Zandt ain't doing anything. But anyway, Alexis Davis, you have people in that. I don't think Alexis Davis is there anymore, though. Anyways, you have a lot of contenders who present their own set of threats to Valentina, but as we saw Valentina, in her fight with Juliana Pena, Valentina is ready for anything: grappling, clinch, striking, whatever. She's ready for it all. So this division is like a true division. There's a dominant champion at the top, just like Joanna. Somebody had to lose this fight. Joanna was that dominant champion at the top of the division that it took so many different title defenses for her to actually. It took Joanna beating everybody for somebody to come out and beat her, which was Rose. You know, so it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be something like that in this division. Now, Jessica I can come out here and shock the world. Nico Montano can come out of hiding and really become a contender in this division. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she'll do that, but Nico could, you know, the former champion could come out and she could be a contender. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that, but guys, it's going to take someone who can figure out the puzzle of Valentina Shevchenko. And everyone can't take a page out of Amanda Nunes's book because the girls that are fighting are not Amanda Nunes. They're not Amanda Nunes. So if they want to stand and strike with Valentina, good luck. If you want to go to the ground with Valentina, good luck. Because she's going to be ready for anything that you can possibly even throw at her. Let's see if the stats come up when I click on it. I don't think so. Yeah, guys, bingo. That's what I'm looking for right there. So let's look at the numbers. Total strikes, 248 for Joanna, 236 for Valentina. Significant strikes. That was the big difference. Strikes, period. I can see where Joanna outstruck her total. But as far as significant strikes, Valentina, that definitely goes to Valentina, especially with the kicks that Valentina threw. That definitely made a difference in this fight. Yeah, and 10 takedowns. So that right there, guys, is really that right there is really what won Valentina this. If it wasn't for this, I don't know if Valentina necessarily would have won this fight. If it wasn't for 10 takedowns, I believe that's what really swayed the judges her way unanimously, because everywhere else was close. 22 more significant strikes, but total strikes, Joanna outstruck Valentina. It is what it is. I mean, the stats don't lie. So it's going to take somebody who can, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's going to take someone who's very fluent on the ground and very fluent on the feet as well. So that's what I think. Next up, the main event of the evening, which did not go the way a lot of people thought it would go. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Max Holloway dominated Brian Ortega, period. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about that fight. Max Holloway dominated Brian Ortega. I've never in my life seen Brian Ortega I've seen Brian Ortega losing a fight. And then I've seen Brian Ortega losing a fight and then come back and win the fight. Just about every one of his fights. Just about every one of his fights, he was getting beat up. And I said before this fight, I said, he can't, Brian Ortega has a tendency to take a lot of damage. I said to myself, he can't take this kind of damage with Max Holloway. Max Holloway will put him away. Max Holloway will hurt Brian Ortega if Brian Ortega stands there and takes the damage that I've seen him take, especially in the Cub Swanson fight, and especially in the Clay Guida fight. Jesus, he took a lot of damage, but he won both of those fights. This says number 1 Brian Ortega versus number 5 Max Holloway. You mean it should be a C right there, the champion. Anyways, look at the difference, guys. I mean, look at the difference. 224 total strikes versus 614. That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot. 2 takedowns to 4, man. Significant strikes, significant power shots. 580 to 220. That's not good, y'all. That's not good at all. It seemed like Brian Ortega it seems like he got a little bit comfortable with the success that he's had on his feet in his last couple of fights, with the knockout of Frankie Edgar, the knockout of Clay Guida. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bit comfortable on the feet. He got a little bit too cocky with his stand-up, which he had the right to with, 2 knockouts due to strikes, so but he was in there with Max Holloway. Max Holloway is arguably one of the best strikers in the featherweight division, let alone in the UFC. Max Holloway is one of the best strikers in the UFC. And Brian Ortega went in there and was a stationary target for Max Holloway. Max Holloway's 1-2 is one of the nastiest 1-2s I think I've ever seen, second to Stipe Miocic. Stipe has one of the nastiest 1-2s I ever seen. But Max Holloway is right up there with him. And he ate Brian Ortega up with that 1-2 all night. All night. All night long. And I hated to see T-City lose, man, because undefeated, dominant guy, finishing guys on the feet and on the ground. And with Max Holloway, the 12-fight winning streak, I mean, he's the champion. Yeah, he's had some trouble, you know what I'm saying, with the weight cut. And whether it was the weight cut, he said it wasn't a weight cut. It was just an injury. It is what it is. He had trouble getting into the octagon. So, and he beat Brian Ortega up so bad that the ref had to stop the fight. The ref had to stop the fight. That's how bad he whooped Brian Ortega's ass, y'all. Did anyone see Brian Ortega? Did y'all see Brian Ortega after the fight? Let's see if we can find Ortega after the fight. Whew, boy. Let's see. I don't know where it's at, y'all. Anyways, let me see. Let's see if we can find Ortega after the fight. Whew, boy, he looked like he had been through a meat grinder. Let's find it, y'all. Let's find it. This lets you know. This speaks more numbers for the. This speaks more for the numbers that I just showed y'all. I mean, my Lord. I mean, that's what we've seen all night. Look at that. Oof. 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 Brian Ortega, and he refused. He refused to move his head. He refused to move his head. Head movement, guys. That's what it's gonna take. When these grapplers are fighting these strikers, they got to make sure their head movement is on point. Because I believe in grapplers' hands. I believe grapplers. You know what I'm saying? Brian Ortega had his moments. Look at that. He had his moments. But I just feel like grapplers, of course, are at the disadvantage with on the feet with a striker, but you guys gotta be ready, man. Someone like that. But anyways, what's next for Brian Ortega? I don't know. He's out for 6 months. I have no idea. But what's next for Max Holloway? They talking about moving him up to to the next weight class. You know what I'm saying? To 155. Max Holloway. The only thing Max Holloway says is, "Hey, I got a belt, and I got to defend that belt. If they want me to move up, I'll move up, but I still got a belt. I'm not giving up my belt." So, what's up, Reggie, man? What's going on, buddy? Just here talking real quick, man. Shout out to Reggie the Tree. So, anyways, guys, they won't Max. Some people saying they want Max to move up. So because he did specify that his issue was not a weight cut issue. You know what I'm saying? And then they said, "Oh, well, he had issues in the fight with the issues making the weight to fight Khabib." Yeah, that was like on a couple days' notice. So of course, come on, guys. Of course, you're not gonna be able to make weight in a couple of days, and that's at a higher weight class. So anyway, Brian Ortega's out for 6 months, injuries, broken nose, possibly a broken orbital bone. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't heard about the orbital bone, but I do know that his nose was broke. So anyway, great card. 231 was a great card, guys. I enjoyed every bit of it. I only talked about a few because I didn't plan on staying on here even this long. I just coming on to talk real quick, pass these fights by because these were some good fights. These were some pretty good fights. What's next for the flyweight champion? I don't know. Well, the fight with Jessica Eye. That's right, we do know. So hopefully the fight with Jessica Eye, that versus Valentina Shevchenko, hopefully that goes down. And whoever's next is whoever's next. What's next for Max Holloway? I'd like to see Max possibly go up. But then again, I want to see him defend his belt, guys. Come on. He's the champion. It's the blessed era. Anyways, guys, I'm getting off of here. I just wanted to come on and talk for a little bit. This is your boy BJ from No Filter MMA. Drop your comments in the comment section. Hit the like button. And do not forget to subscribe. And we are out.